Elon Musk joins and unjoins Twitter board over the weekend. This and all your other social media headlines in this week's video. My name is Kip Russell. I am the head of social media at SpinUtech, an advertising agency. I'm also an influencer myself with nearly 1 million followers on social media. Been doing this since the MySpace days, so needless to say, I live and breathe this stuff. And these are the headlines I'm paying attention to because I know that they'll be impacting my strategies. Before we get into Elon, I do want to talk about what I think is actually the most important strategy and has a lot of conversation going on in the social media world is that Meta is out launching a new campaign to reiterate the value of personalized ad tracking. I don't know how successful this will be, but I think the angle is to, one, educate consumers that you shouldn't be opting out of personalized ad tracking if you are prompted, because you're going to ultimately get a worse experience in app. And also that when you do leave Facebook and Instagram, we can't see you the data, what you're doing on other websites, so you can't get personalized ads like remarketing to things you're actually interested in. Instead, Facebook's guessing on the data that they do have. So you'll kind of almost be like traditional media, right? When you have to watch 3 or 4 ads that have no interest to you because you fit maybe demographic targeting. But if you get personalized ads, you're going to get things that you really care about and discover brands and products that you really have an interest in. So whether consumers care or not, I don't know. Facebook has a lot of damage control to do. They've notoriously done the wrong things. They haven't paid creators, they haven't shared ad revenue, and they also really haven't made a good case that they're doing the right things with your data. I think me being an ad buyer for the most part, I have seen this impact. The other big story of this is that really since iOS 14 is launched, small businesses are getting hurt. So lots of e-com brands or small startups trying to get you to download their app. They don't have the tracking. Local businesses and bakeries and all those such a thing, they don't have the tracking, so they're not getting the conversions that they once did that were making these channels profitable and helping these small businesses succeed. That's a real thing, whether people want to ignore it or not. The positive things about social media are everyone does have a voice. I know people don't like that, but 2, small businesses can really build overnight very cheaply because of these ad platforms, and local businesses can get their products and services out. And you can have a couple $1 million e-commerce brand and make 10 or 20% profit margin and do well. But now it's getting increasingly hard to do that as we're having worse tracking on websites across the board, and we're not there yet where you can actually purchase an app and all these other things. So it's a really tough time for businesses. And I think we're doing everything we can, and they're getting outbid by bigger brands now that they've poured money into social networks. So this is a conversation that needs to be had, and I really hope Apple, Facebook, and all the major players in the space can come together and put together a good solution and play nice in the sandbox. I think it should have happened, but again, Facebook had notoriously been kind of doing some of the wrong things with our data, and I think it's just healthy that we need to have a good conversation moving forward, and it figures out a win-win for all these platforms. I'd be happy to hear everyone else's conversations. There's so much I could go into on this alone, just being on the inside for helping businesses thrive, but also understanding the aspects that have made really social media in general toxic based on a lot of the mishaps by Facebook over the years. Let's get into Elon Musk. So Elon Musk joins and then unjoins Twitter's board over the weekend. I think a lot of people are saying it has to do with how he was, shouting a lot of stuff out on Twitter. He had a couple tweets. I think one that really was a little bit controversial for maybe Twitter was he had a tweet where he said, most of these top accounts rarely tweet. Is Twitter dying? And again, he's showing Justin Bieber, Katy Perry, Rihanna, Lady Gaga, etc., who barely have tweeted. Justin hasn't even tweeted this whole year. While I do think he's misunderstanding the strategy for some of these celebrities on Twitter, not tweeting is actually a way of a strategy. So when they're ready to promote or do something, they then insert themselves. They get earned media by tweeting, right? So there's some of that going on. Twitter's a channel where it requires a lot of TLC, a lot of daily one-on-one hacking to really do well, and understanding that channel. Probably more than any other social network, you need a lot of TLC to do well. So it's a harder channel to learn. And I think it has carved itself out in terms of owning the public discourse and really jumping in to understand what's going on in the world in the news. But Twitter has a lot of problems. It has a really crappy ad platform. It's a hard platform for brands to do well, and they notoriously haven't paid creators. So what's the incentive besides promotion for Justin or any of these major celebrities to be on there if they're not making revenue per tweet or they're not getting paid per video view? There's not a lot of incentive for them to be on the platform until they need to. They can be on YouTube, right? They can be on Spotify. They can be on now Instagram and TikTok and get paid per tweet or actually have better brand deals. So Twitter has a lot of revenue issues in terms of monetization issues for creators, and I think having this discourse hopefully can force Twitter to make some moves that it should be, just like TikTok has really forced Facebook's hand in helping creators out and do the right things in terms of splitting the ad revenue and making it a platform that feels more fruitful for the little guy, and also healthy for the even celebrities and brands to be posting, because there's other avenues of revenue besides just give me your money, right? So, and spending ad dollars. So a lot of healthy conversation. I think having him on the as an owner now has been helpful. I think in general we'll see if you can shake up the tree of social to kind of push things forward. I think we're at that really crossroads across the board in social media, so interesting stuff. The last thing we're talking about today, because this has been a longer video, is Meta launches Share to Reels option for third-party developers to help fuel Reels usage. So there's a couple platforms they've started with, so Smule, Viva Video. Now you can seamlessly share from that app right into Facebook and Instagram Reels, and it's just a good way for them to fuel having more. One, it gives the creators on all these platforms more opportunity for eyeballs, but two, it gives them more content, right? So I will say Reels is done much better than I thought in terms of becoming competitive. You're seeing a lot of virality organically for the first time on Instagram and Facebook that you just couldn't achieve before because of this new adoption. So your strategy should 100% include sharing vertical videos to Facebook and Instagram Reels. Facebook may be even better than Instagram because they have scale and people watch a lot of video there. So double down, get there. If you're making TikToks, make sure you're sharing to Reels and Facebook Reels. A lot going on, and just like stories, they're commoditizing it. So Snapchat doesn't feel as unique because you can do all that stuff on stories, right? And then I think they're hoping that this is what's happening. I think this will be more impactful to places or people who haven't adopted Reels, because it just maybe encourages them not to deal with the app because they already have it on Facebook and they're going to be thinking that it doesn't matter. It's going to be like Snapchat. So good job, kudos to Facebook and Instagram for making this happen so fast. I do think if TikTok isn't, it should be in your top 3 places that you're playing in terms of organic growth for any type of brand or creator. So interesting to see where this is going to net out. I'm interested to see where this nets out in the 6 months in terms of usage on Facebook and Instagram. So good stuff. Those are the things I'm paying attention to this week. I would love to hear what you guys are paying attention to in terms of your social media headlines, and I will see you on the next one.